Hello and welcome back to Omavera. In today's video, we will be talking about 5 of the most dangerous criminals in the history of the USA. There will be part 2 if this video hits 500 views. Enjoy! The first one is John Wayne Gacy, also known as Killer Clown. Was a husband and a dad. He knew his victims by being in parties as Pago the Clown. He also participated in volunteer work that helped him be around kids. And even though he was a respectable and loved businessman, he committed so many sexual crimes. And he got caught in 1968 and he was accused of sexually assaulting children. And he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. But after his good behavior, he was released after only 18 months. Then, his wife figured out that he was secretly gay, so she asked for divorce. He was caught again after 6 years of his releasement after he was accused of killing 33 victims. The police then figured out that he buried most of the bodies in his garden and found the others near a river. Jean confessed that he was choosing his victims from kids and teens, take them with his car, torture them, and rape them, and he was executed in 1994. The second one is Jeffrey Dahmer. He is one of the most horrible criminals of the history of the US. He killed around 17 men and guys in 13 years, but he didn't just kill them. He raped them, cut their body parts, eat their meat, and raped them when they're dead. Even though all of his victims couldn't escape, but only one guy succeeded and escaped him. Ran away until he reached the public road and told the police about what happened to him exactly. Then they caught Jeffrey in his flat, and the police figured out worrying things. Jeffrey was diagnosed with many psychological disorders. He was caught and sentenced to life imprisonment, but he was beaten to death by a prisoner 28th of November 1994 in Columbia Correctional Institution. Third one is Ted Bundy. That guy was good looking, and he seemed so nice with everyone, especially that he was attractive. But sadly, he was hiding behind his cute face, a psychopath. Between 1974 and 1978, Bundy kidnapped and killed around 30 women in the US. But what's terrifying is that this list contains only the victims that were found. This means there is a big chance that the list is way more bigger than that. Ted was attracting his victims by pretending that his car was broken in the road, but he sometimes just breaks into their houses while they're asleep, rape them before they kill them. Bundy said in the investigation that he raped and tortured his victims and cut their body parts, and he sometimes kept what he calls souvenirs, like their heads. Gross. He was caught after an exciting chase from the police in 1978, and he was executed by electrocution in 1989 in Florida. Gary Ridgway, also known as Green River Killer. He stifled at least 71 women in Washington between 1980 and 1990. His first 5 victims were found in the Green River, and that's where his nickname came from. Most of his victims were escapers, travelers, or bad girls, and he stifled them with his bare hands or using other stuff. Gary said in the investigations that he sometimes came back to the corpses and raped them or just reorganized them in different positions. He got caught in November 2001 after he left his DNA on some of his victims. But he made a deal during his trial, revealing the place where he buried his victims. In return for that, he avoids execution. Gary is still alive, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment in a prison in Washington. The last one is Ed Gein, or Gein. He killed only 2, so we can't call him a serial killer, but a murderer, for the horrible stuff he made. Ed lived with his mother and brother, and he was suspected of the murder of his brother, but the police couldn't prove that. After his mother's death, he started visiting cemeteries and brushing the graves of women he thought that they looked like his mother. The police found noses, skulls, and human hands in bags, chairs made of human meat, and what's gross, a belt made with nipples. He confessed that he killed only 2 women, and when the police entered his house, they found their body parts everywhere around the house. He was caught in 1957 and he spent the rest of his life in a psychiatric hospital. He died with cancer and heart disease in 1984. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments if you liked this video. See you next time.